60, 70, 80 years old. Walking less. Try doing these 5 exercises instead. Senior health. If you're 60, 70 or 80 and walking less lately, your body's already starting to pay the price. But it's not over. These 5 exercises can rebuild your strength, stability, and freedom. Stay until the end, because the last one is the breakthrough move that keeps you out of a chair and on your feet. Smarter movement. Let's begin by having a truly gentle, honest, and compassionate conversation about the nature of movement. For decades, we've been told a single story. Walking is the gold standard of accessible fitness. Get your 10,000 steps in, the trackers beep, the articles command, and well-meaning friends advise. And for a young, healthy, uninjured body, that advice is perfectly sound. But our bodies are not static machines. They are living, breathing organisms that change, adapt, and carry the unique, intricate stories of our lives within them. They are diaries written in bone, muscle, and cartilage. For so many of us, that story includes chapters on arthritis, spinal stenosis, knee replacements, lingering hip pain, or a general unnerving sense of instability that can make a simple walk around the block feel like navigating a treacherous mountain pass. When that becomes our reality, continuing to force ourselves into an activity that causes sharp, nagging pain is not a sign of strength or determination. It's a sign that we're not listening to the most important, sophisticated feedback mechanism we have, our own body. Pain is not a weakness to be grimly pushed through. It's a highly intelligent signal. It's your body's way of saying, with urgent clarity, hold on, this specific action, in this specific way, is causing stress and damage right now. There has to be a better, smarter way. And the wonderful news is that there absolutely is a better way. The ultimate goal of a healthy, vibrant life is not to accumulate an arbitrary number of steps logged on a device. The true goal is to move through your days with confidence, to live without the shadow of constant pain, and to maintain the fundamental strength and freedom to do the things you genuinely love. That is the definition of true health. So, we must begin by redefining what exercise means for us in this season of our lives. It's no longer about high-impact pounding on pavement. It's certainly not about pushing through sharp, grinding, or inflammatory pain. It's about making an intelligent, strategic, and profoundly effective shift in our approach. We are consciously moving from a mindset of raw intensity to a mindset of profound consistency and pinpoint precision. The seated exercises we will explore together today are not a lesser alternative or a consolation prize for not being able to walk. They are a smarter, more targeted, and in many ways, a more beneficial approach for a body that requires and deserves dedicated care and deep respect. Think of it this way. If a car's tires are out of alignment, causing the whole vehicle to shudder and wear unevenly, you don't just keep driving it faster and for longer distances, hoping the problem will magically fix itself. That would be absurd. You take it to the shop, you realign the wheels, you strengthen the foundational structure. That is precisely what we are doing for our bodies today. We are performing essential foundational maintenance that will allow us to move better with less pain for the rest of our lives. This isn't giving up, it's getting smart. This is a profound act of deep self-respect and self-advocacy. It's about honoring the body you inhabit today, so you can meticulously build the stronger, more resilient body you want for all of your tomorrows. This is where the real, transformative work begins, not with a punishing walk that your joints dread, but with a wise, gentle, and empowering choice to move differently. This is the first step toward a new kind of freedom. The inherent beauty of this smarter approach lies in its radical accessibility. All you truly need is a sturdy, stable chair, one that doesn't have wheels and, ideally, allows your feet to rest flat on the floor when you're seated. That's it. That is your entire gym. There is no need for fancy, complicated equipment, no expensive gym, memberships, no feeling of intimidation. Your own living room, a space where you already feel comfortable and safe, becomes your personal sanctuary for healing, strengthening, and restoration. we are systematically removing all the common barriers that get in the way of consistency. There's no need to check the weather forecast, no need to worry about uneven sidewalks that could cause a stumble, and most importantly, no deep-seated fear of being too far from the safety of home if a sharp pain suddenly strikes. You are in complete, total control of your environment. This sense of control is psychologically powerful. Scientific studies have shown that when we feel in control of our environment and our movements, we reduce the production of the stress hormone cortisol. High cortisol levels can directly contribute to systemic inflammation and can even heighten our perception of pain. So, by simply choosing to perform these exercises in your safe space, you are already beginning the deep healing process on a biochemical level. We are actively rewiring the brain's association with movement from one of fear, risk, and pain to one of safety, predictability, and empowerment. Furthermore, we're going to shift our focus entirely from quantity to quality. It is far more neurologically and physically effective to do 5 perfectly executed mindful repetitions than it is to do 50 sloppy rushed ones that use momentum instead of muscle. We're going to move slowly, deliberately, as if we are moving through calm water. This mindful, unhurried approach accomplishes 2 critical things simultaneously. First, it ensures we are isolating and targeting the correct muscles without putting any undue strain, compression, or torque on our precious joints. We build the muscle without harming the joint. Second, and just as importantly, it builds a powerful and sensitive mind-body connection. You will gradually start to feel, with increasing clarity, which muscles are activating to create the movement. You will become more intimately aware of your own posture and your body's alignment in space. This is the cultivation of proprioception, the body's internal GPS-like sense of its own position. By deliberately honing this subtle sense in a safe, supported, seated position, we are directly training one of the key components of balance, coordination, and fall prevention. This is the foundational work that translates and carries over into every single thing you do throughout the day, from standing up from a low sofa to reaching for a plate on a high shelf, to catching your balance on an uneven surface. It all starts right here, with this simple, intelligent decision to move smarter, not harder. This is the first, most crucial step on your journey back to feeling strong, stable, and at home in your own body. It's a paradigm shift, and it's one that will serve you for decades to come. Finding balance. Now let's talk about one of the most significant and pervasive concerns that can accompany us as we age, the fear of falling. This fear is not irrational or all in your head. It's a logical, rational response to a very real physical risk. A fall can be a truly life-altering event, potentially leading to serious injury, a long and difficult recovery, and a devastating loss of independence and confidence. But living in a constant state of fear is its own kind of prison. It's a cage with invisible bars that keeps us from living fully. It makes us hesitant, tentative. We start to limit our activities, to say no to invitations and experiences we once enjoyed. The terrible irony is that this fear-driven cycle of inactivity further weakens the very muscles and neurological systems that are designed to keep us balanced and upright. Inactivity actually makes a fall more likely, thus reinforcing the fear. It's a vicious cycle, but we are going to break that cycle today. We're going to address the challenge of balance head-on, but we're going to do it from a position of absolute safety and control. True physical balance is not just about your legs. It's a complex and beautiful symphony conducted by 3 primary systems working in harmony. Your inner ear's vestibular system, your vision, and that crucial sense of proprioception we just discussed. Your body's silent awareness of itself in space. We can effectively train all 3 of these systems right from our chair. Let's begin with a simple foundational movement I call the seated march. Sit tall and proud in your chair, scooting forward away from the backrest if you feel stable enough. Place your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart, creating a solid base. Gently engage your core muscles as if you're about to laugh, just bracing slightly. Now very slowly, as if moving through thick honey, lift your right knee up towards the ceiling, only as high as is comfortable for you. The goal here isn't extreme height. It's a feeling of pure, deliberate control. Hold it at the top for just a single second, feeling the muscles in your hip flexor and thigh working to keep it there. Then, with that exact same slow, controlled motion, lower your foot back to the floor with a soft landing. Now repeat the same process with the left leg. We are going to alternate right and left. The key, the absolute magic of this exercise is the slowness. By moving slowly, you are forcing your deep stabilizing muscles, the transverse abdominis in your core, and the smaller crucial muscles around your hips and pelvis to engage and work continuously throughout the entire range of motion. This is what builds true, functional, and reliable stability. As you perform this march, notice what's happening in your torso. You're not just lifting your leg, you're actively using your core to prevent your body from swaying side to side. You are maintaining a stable, solid base even as your limbs are in motion. This is pure balance training in its most fundamental and safest form. Now let's add a layer to this to enhance that proprioceptive feedback from the ground up. We'll focus our attention on the feet and ankles. Our feet are our magnificent, intricate foundation. They are covered in thousands of sensitive nerve endings that are constantly sending a torrent of information to our brain about the texture, angle, and stability of the surface we're on. But too often, trapped inside stiff, overly supportive shoes, their nerve endings become dull and the intrinsic muscles lose their sensitivity and strength. From your seated position, simply lift your right foot just an inch or two off the floor. Now, I want you to slowly and with great deliberation point your toes away from you as far as you comfortably can. Feel the gentle stretch along the front of your shin and ankle. Hold for a moment. Then, just as slowly, flex your foot, pulling your toes back up towards you, feeling the responding stretch in your calf muscle. Repeat this slow pointing and flexing motion 10 times. Then, begin to perform slow, large, deliberate ankle circles as if you are drawing a big circle in the air with your big toe. Go 5 times in a clockwise direction and then 5 times counterclockwise. You might hear or feel some popping or clicking, a sensation known as crepitus. As long as there is no sharp pain associated with it, this is perfectly normal and harmless. It's just the joint moving through its range of motion, releasing small gas bubbles or tendons gliding over bone. What we are doing here is reawakening all those dormant nerves and strengthening the small, intricate muscles that support the ankle. A strong, mobile, and responsive ankle is your first line of defense against a trip or a stumble. It allows your body to react in a split second and correct your balance before a small misstep ever becomes a serious fall. The final piece of this seated balance puzzle is training the vital connection between your vision and your body's position. Our brains rely heavily on visual cues from our surroundings to keep us upright and stable. We can challenge and strengthen this system safely and effectively. While performing the slow seated march we just learned, try keeping your head perfectly still and your eyes fixed on a single unmoving point on the wall directly in front of you. Don't let your gaze wander or drift. This simple act forces your body to rely more heavily on its internal balance mechanisms, your vestibular system and proprioception, rather than just your eyes. It sharpens both your physical stability and your mental focus. Once that feels comfortable and steady over several sessions, you can try the next level, but only if you feel completely secure. Try closing your eyes for a single repetition of the march. Lift one leg, lower it back down with control, then open your eyes. You will immediately feel how much harder your deep core and hip muscles have to work to keep you stable without visual input. This is an advanced technique, so please approach it with caution and awareness. But it beautifully demonstrates how interconnected these systems truly are. By practicing these simple, safe, seated movements, you are not just exercising your legs. You are conducting a full-scale training exercise for your brain and your entire central nervous system. You are rebuilding your body's innate, God-given ability to keep you stable, secure, and upright. You are systematically replacing fear with tangible physical confidence, one slow, controlled movement at a time, and daily power. True, meaningful strength is not just about lifting heavy weights in a noisy gym. For most of us, navigating our lives with joy and freedom, real-world strength is the ability to move through our daily routines with ease, grace and independence. It's the quiet power to get up from a low, soft sofa without needing to push off with your hands for leverage. It's the functional strength to carry a heavy bag of groceries from the car to the kitchen without your back screaming in protest. It's the muscular endurance to play with your beloved grandchildren on the floor and then get back up again without a struggle or feeling of dread. This is functional strength, and it is the absolute key to maintaining your quality of life for years to come. The movements we will focus on in this section are designed very specifically to build this kind of real-world power. We are going to target the largest and most powerful muscle groups in your body, your legs, glutes, and your core, because they are the engine for almost every single activity you perform throughout the day. And we will do this safely, with intelligent modifications available for every single fitness level, so you can start right where you are today. There is no judgment here, only progress. The single most important, most vital functional exercise for all of us is the sit to stand. It is a fundamental movement pattern that we do dozens, if not hundreds of times every single day without even thinking about it. Mastering this movement and keeping it strong is non-negotiable for long-term independence. We will start with a supported, guided version. Sit on the front half of your sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor and positioned directly under your knees to create a stable base. Your hands can be placed gently on the arms of the chair or on your thighs for support and confidence. Now, before you even begin to move upward, I want you to lean forward slightly from your hips, keeping your back long and straight. Shift your weight forward onto your feet. Feel your leg muscles, your quadriceps and glutes begin to engage and tense up. This is the preparatory phase. Now, from this forward hinged position, press down firmly through your heels as if you're trying to push the floor away from you, and use the power of your leg muscles to stand up. The key is to consciously let your legs do the vast majority of the work, using your hands as little as humanly possible. Once you are standing, stand up tall and proud for a moment, shoulders back. Then, reverse the motion with that same deliberate control. Hinge at your hips first. Stick your bottom out as if you are reaching back for the chair with your sit bones, and slowly lower yourself back down. Do not just fall or flop into the chair. This controlled lowering, known as the eccentric phase of the movement, is just as important, if not more so, for building strength and control as the standing up part. If that supported version feels manageable and you feel confident, you can progress to the next level, the unsupported sit to stand. The setup is exactly the same, but this time you'll cross your arms over your chest, placing your hands on your shoulders. This simple change takes away the option of assistance from your hands and forces your core and your leg muscles to do 100% of the work. Lean forward, hinge at the hips, keep that chest lifted and your back straight, and drive powerfully through your heels to stand. You will feel this in your glutes and your quadriceps immediately and intensely. It might be very challenging. You might only be able to do 1 or 2 repetitions at first, and that is perfectly, absolutely fine. Remember our guiding principle: quality over quantity. 2 perfect controlled repetitions are infinitely more valuable for building real strength than 10 shaky momentum-driven ones. This single exercise, practiced with consistency, will radically transform your ability to get up from any surface, a chair, a car seat, the toilet, with renewed confidence and power. It is perhaps the most direct investment you can make in your own physical freedom and independence. Now let's isolate and focus on the powerful muscles on the front of your thigh, the quadriceps. These muscles are absolutely crucial for walking, climbing stairs, and for providing essential stability to your kneecap. We'll do a seated leg extension. Sit up tall, holding onto the sides of the chair for stability if needed. Engage your core to keep your torso still. Slowly, with control, extend your right leg straight out in front of you until it is parallel with the floor, or as straight as is comfortable for your knee. As you extend, focus intently on squeezing the muscles on the top of your thigh. Hold that strong contraction for 2 to 3 seconds. Imagine you are trying to lift something heavy with your foot. This isometric hold at the peak of the movement is what builds real, lasting strength. Then, slowly, fighting against gravity, lower the leg back down with the same unwavering control. Complete a full set of repetitions on one side before moving on to switch to the other leg. This focused approach prevents you from using momentum or rocking your body, and it ensures that each leg gets the targeted, isolated work it needs to grow stronger. This movement not only builds raw strength, but also helps to stabilize the entire knee joint complex, which can be incredibly beneficial and relieving for those with arthritis or a general sense of knee instability. It's a simple, elegant movement with profound benefits for your daily mobility. By consistently practicing these power-building exercises, you are making a direct daily deposit into your personal independence account. You are building the physical capital you will need to live life on your own terms, with strength, with dignity, and with the power to say yes to all the activities that bring you genuine joy. Joint relief. One of the most common and disheartening reasons that people stop moving is the chronic, nagging presence of joint pain, particularly in the knees and hips. It's a debilitating, frustrating, and often invisible experience. And the conventional wisdom we so often hear, to just walk it off or push through it, can often be the worst possible advice for an inflamed joint. High-impact activities like walking or jogging, especially on hard, unforgiving surfaces like concrete, can create powerful compressive forces on your joints that are many times your actual body weight. If you have arthritis, bone-on-bone friction, or thinning, cartilage, this is akin to rubbing sandpaper on an already raw and inflamed area. It can increase pain, cause significant swelling, and actually accelerate the very deterioration you're trying so desperately to prevent. So, what is the intelligent solution? It's not to stop moving altogether. In fact, total immobility is one of the worst things for long-term joint health, as it leads to stiffness and muscle atrophy. The solution is to consciously choose movements that nourish and lubricate your joints instead of punishing them. Our goal is to gently increase circulation to the joint capsule and, most importantly, to promote the production of synovial fluid. Think of synovial fluid as your body's own internal miraculous joint lubricant, like high-grade oil for a rusty hinge. Gentle, rhythmic, non-weight-bearing movement is precisely what signals your body to produce more of this precious fluid. This fluid then cushions the joint, delivers vital nutrients to the cartilage, and helps to flush out inflammatory waste products. The exercises in this section are specifically designed to be therapeutic in nature. They are gentle, they are smooth, and they are focused on moving your joints through their full, comfortable range of motion without the damaging, compressive impact of your body weight. Let's start with the hips, a very common source of pain and stiffness. While sitting tall and straight in your chair, we'll perform a seated hip abduction and adduction. First, simply keep your feet on the floor and gently open your knees out to the sides as far as is comfortable. You'll feel a gentle stretch in your inner thighs and a subtle activation in your outer hips and glutes. Then, slowly bring them back to the starting position. This movement is not about speed or forcing, a deep stretch. It is all about gentle, rhythmic, and soothing motion. Now, for an added benefit, you can place a small pillow or a rolled-up towel between your knees. Gently squeeze the pillow for a count of 3, feeling your inner thigh muscles engage, and then relax. By combining these two movements, you are addressing the muscles on both the inside and outside of your hips. As you do this, you are lubricating the complex ball and socket joint of the hip, increasing vital blood flow to all the surrounding tissues and helping to maintain its healthy, functional range of motion. This can make daily actions like getting in and out of a car or stepping to the side to avoid an obstacle feel significantly easier and less painful over time. Now let's turn our focused attention to the knees. The knee is primarily a hinge joint, and it thrives on this kind of gentle, lubricating back and forth movement. We will do a simple knee flexion and extension, but with a very specific focus on absolute smoothness. Sit tall and extend your right leg out, but not all the way to a full hard lock, just a comfortable, easy extension. Now from this position, gently bend your knee and draw your foot back underneath your chair, as if you're trying to gently sweep the floor under your seat. Then slowly extend it back out again, Repeat this in a smooth, easy, pendulum-like motion. Imagine your lower leg is simply swinging effortlessly from the knee. There should be absolutely no tension, no forcing, and no gritting your teeth, just ease. If you have a good knee and a bad knee, you might even notice a significant difference in the smoothness of the motion between the two sides. The goal over time is to make the movement on the painful side feel more like the movement on the good side, fluid, light, and effortless. This simple swinging motion increases circulation and synovial fluid production right where it's needed most, without any of the compressive stress that comes from walking. It is a direct, targeted, therapeutic intervention for a painful, achy knee. Finally, we cannot possibly forget the spine. A stiff, immobile back can contribute to pain and poor posture throughout the entire body. We'll do a gentle seated cat-cow, a wonderful and classic movement for improving spinal mobility and relieving tension. Sit on the front edge of your chair with your hands resting lightly on your knees. As you take a slow inhale, gently arch your back, let your belly come forward, lift your chest proudly, and look slightly up towards the ceiling. This is the cow position. Don't crane your neck back, keep the back of the neck long. On your exhale, slowly and deliberately round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest, and gently draw your belly button back towards your spine. This is the cat position. Flow smoothly between these two postures, carefully coordinating the physical movement with the rhythm of your own breath. This is not about achieving an extreme or contorted range of motion. It's about gently and kindly mobilizing each individual vertebra. You are bringing fresh blood flow and healing movement to the spongy discs that cushion your spine, helping to keep them healthy, hydrated, and pliable. These movements are a form of active kindness to your body. You are consciously choosing to heal rather than to harm. You are sending a clear message to your joints. I am going to support you. I am going to nourish you. I am listening to you. This consistent, gentle, and mindful care is far more powerful for long-term joint health than any punishing high-impact workout could ever be. It is the true path to moving with less pain and more grace. Or future you. We've moved our bodies in smarter ways. We've focused intently on rebuilding our balance. We've built practical functional power, and we've nourished our precious joints with therapeutic motion. Now, as we come to a close, let's talk about the most important person in this entire equation, the person you are actively in the process of becoming. Let's talk about your future self. Every single controlled repetition you've done today, every single mindful movement and moment of focused attention is a direct and tangible gift to that person. The you of tomorrow, of next month, and of 10 years from now will be living in the very body that you are so wisely and carefully building today. The small, intelligent, and compassionate choices you make in this present moment are the sturdy, reliable foundation upon which their future quality of life will be built. This entire philosophy is not about giving up on walking or other activities forever. It's about honoring your body's current needs with deep intelligence and self-compassion. It's about being strategic and playing the long game. Perhaps by doing these seated exercises consistently for a few months, you'll build enough foundational strength and stability and reduce enough chronic inflammation that short, pleasurable walks do become comfortable and enjoyable again. If so, that is absolutely wonderful. But the goal isn't the walking itself. The ultimate goal is the feeling. The feeling of confidence in your own body, the absence of constant fear, the quiet presence of underlying strength. That is the precious state of being that we are truly cultivating. I want you to think for a moment about the powerful financial principle of compounding interest. A small amount of money invested today, when left untouched, grows exponentially over time into a significant sum. The very same is profoundly true for your health. A small, consistent investment of just 15 to 20 minutes of mindful, targeted movement each day will compound into massive, life-altering returns in your future. It will compound into the priceless ability to remain independent and safe in your own home. It will compound into the physical strength to travel and see the people and places you love without hesitation. It will compound into the deep resilience to recover more quickly and completely from an unexpected illness or setback. Ultimately, it will compound into a life with significantly less pain and profoundly more joy. This is the very opposite of a quick fix mentality. This is a dedicated, long-term strategy for a lifetime of vitality and freedom. It's the quiet, unseen daily commitment that builds an unshakable foundation of well-being. It's about consciously choosing the sustainable, nourishing path over the flashy but ultimately damaging one. There is a deep and abiding sense of peace and security that comes from knowing you are actively and intelligently caring for your future self. This journey we've started is also a profound mental and emotional one. When we live with chronic pain or a persistent fear of falling, our world can begin to shrink in ways we don't even notice at first. We start to see limitations and barriers everywhere we look. We can even begin to define ourselves by what we can no longer do. These simple seated exercises are an incredibly powerful tool to reverse that debilitating narrative. With each controlled lift, each slow extension, each mindful breath, you are proving to yourself on a cellular level that you are not fragile. You are resilient, you are adaptable, you are still incredibly strong. You are actively taking back control from the pain and the fear. You are seizing the pen and rewriting your own story. It is no longer a story of decline, but one of an empowered individual who is taking intelligent charge of their own health and well-being. This fundamental shift in mindset is just as critical as the physical changes happening in your muscles and joints. It radiates outward into every single corner of your life. When you feel physically more capable and stable, you become emotionally more confident and outgoing. You stand taller, you engage more freely with the world, and you start saying yes to life again. So as we finish our time together today, I invite you to take just one more quiet moment. Place a hand over your heart, take a slow, deep breath all the way in, and as you exhale completely, I want you to silently, genuinely thank your body. Thank it for its incredible resilience, for carrying you through this entire life, for all its hard work, and for the clear, intelligent signals it gives you when it needs a different, kinder kind of care. The work we have done here today is an act of supreme self-respect. It is a powerful acknowledgement that you are worth the time and the effort. You are worth a life with less pain. You are worth a future filled with unshakable confidence and boundless freedom. Never ever forget that. The path forward is not about looking back with longing at what you used to be able to do. It's about looking forward with newfound wisdom, armed with new tools and a deeper, more compassionate understanding of what your body truly needs to not just survive, but to thrive. Your future self is already smiling. They are so incredibly grateful for the wise, loving, and powerful choice you made for them today.